Hey my friends, welcome back to a fresh new month of March. March is a month of a new beginning. Back in ancient Rome, it was the first month of the year, and it usually signifies a fresh new beginning, a fresh new start. So often during the month of March, many people experience many breakthroughs, many people experience a need to change their habits. Many people experience a need to wake up from their sleep. Like if winter time in Northern Hemisphere was for many people a bit slower pace, a bit of slower life, March then wakes them up and reminds them, hey, there's something incredible you need to do. And you need to recognize what it is. So firstly, you need to recognize that you're incredible. So then you can embody your true self and express yourself in your work. So before we start, repeat after me. March will be filled with love. March will be filled with peace. March will be filled with healing. March will be filled with progress. March will be filled with blessings. March will be filled with happiness. March will be filled with opportunity. Feel that, my friend, because that is what you're aiming towards. That is what you're working on, right? So for me, March is a new beginning. We're just in my new studio, so we're still setting everything up, but I feel good. I feel good here. So a lot of creative projects will be happening here, and I'm looking at this as a fresh new beginning. So me and Maya just moved to a new place. Finally, we are here and we're starting fresh. So my friends, what to expect in the month of March? You can expect a lot of refreshment in your life in all the ways. Like if you feel you need some refreshment in your relationships, it's a question: do you want to deepen your relationships or do you want to meet new people? Because if you want to meet new people, you need to start doing new things, right? You need to go to new places. Yeah. You need to go to places where you've never been before. It's already something completely new, something fresh. It's something to consider to do, like think about. Deep inside, you feel like there is something you wanted to do for such a long time, but you've been afraid, you've been scared, you thought you're this little thing, unworthy, not good enough, whatever. You need to recognize that as much as you're conditioning yourself to be someone, you're also unconditional self, unconditional consciousness. You're made out of two aspects. Don't forget about that, my friend. Don't forget that you're made out of consciousness and conditional self, which is identity. And identity can be shaped, it can be changed, it can be upgraded, updated, and March is a great time to start shifting your identity. If you've never done something like that before, start with your mindset, like how you're thinking about yourself. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself in public? Like when you're talking with others, do you think you're not interesting? Do you think that nobody cares about you? Do you think that you're unworthy? Do you think you're not good enough? Or these are your old stories. I want you to think about it like, this is my old self. It's good to recognize, to identify where you used to be, but you don't need to stay there anymore. Remember, my friend, you're also consciousness, you're unconditional self. And the process in life is the process of remembering once again your unconditional self, conditioning yourself into who you choose to be, which means that you can decide, okay, I actually am confident, I actually like to be around others, I actually love to express myself, I actually attract towards myself the best possible people that can help me to level up, that can support me in my work, that I can support them, that can emotionally connect and resonate, that can mentally connect and resonate. I am attracting this kind of people into my life. March is a great time to start thinking about yourself like that, to recognize there are so many new opportunities that are waiting you on the halfway, which means As you start walking towards something new, the opportunity starts walking towards you. At some point you will merge and you will experience something new. Well, it's for relationships, but sometimes we feel like we just need to deepen our relationships. Are we expressing ourselves to such a degree that can be healing for us and for people with whom we are communicating? Could we be more honest? Could we be even more open? Could we be more emotional? As you know, my background is that I'm coming from a family that was quite emotionally closed down. So I needed to learn, and I'm still learning, how to express my emotions, how to express my needs, how to ask for help, how to talk about my insecurities, and how to kind of express when I don't like something. It's important, right, to touch these aspects, especially in our relationships, when we recognize, well, maybe we're not so aligned anymore as we were before. Like, me and Maya are together for 11 years, and we've learned so much on this journey because we've recognized, well, if we would not communicate with each other, if we would not aim towards solving problems that we had, we would never come to where we are. And right now I can say we're such an incredible support to one another, but it was not always like that. We were in fights many times because I was not able to express my emotions and she was not able to know what I need. And many times it was like a reason to fight, and then I would protect myself and I wanted to be right, and so on and so on. Until at some point you come to the halfway and you recognize what's the real problem and you're able to articulate it. So this is a great time right now. Many of you may be inspired during the month of March to deepen your relationship. So if that's something that's happening to you, like you want to do something like that, you may feel deeply drawn into deepening them up and really go into the root problem and find a way of connection with that other person. It's something really magical that can happen. Then financially, for many of you, you may meet new opportunities that can again happen halfway. There's a 50% of your work and a 50% of the universe that helps you, that supports you. That universe always helps you to get to where you want to be if you do your best at getting yourself to where you want to be, which means you need to kind of create a new mindset around what you see that is possible for you. And it's just the beginning, seeing where you are right now, noticing where you are, noticing what makes you feel stuck, and then recognizing there are missing links. And missing links are preventing you from being where you want to be. And sometimes it's not just what you don't know, but also what you don't do. Sometimes you're overthinking what you could already start doing, but you're not doing it because you want to have a perfect plan. And you only want to have a perfect plan so you could control everything that will happen on that journey. But what's really unknown here is that that life is quite spontaneous, right? Changes are happening all the time. You never know what will happen. There is no perfect plan. There is no perfect plan, my friend. Sometimes what's more important than having a really good and precise plan is to start and create a plan along the way. You will recognize that the path is actually taking you to where you're meant to be. And while you're walking on the path, you're learning the most about where you feel the most naturally drawn to. Like, for example, when I've started creating my art, before I was making these videos, I thought that my journey in life will take me to the point where I will be selling my art, I will be just painting and selling my art, but it would never satisfy me because I'm also a messenger. I love making this kind of videos, messages. I love to express myself this way as well because often I feel inspired and I want to share this with you. So when I feel like that, I feel like I would not feel complete if I would be just painting, right? So I needed to go through the process. When I started painting, for example, I've started painting and I've made many paintings until at some point I got this idea, like I want to connect my art with messages. As I've shared this story with you before, but it only happened because I've started painting. I never had a perfect plan. Actually, most of the time I had no plan, but I had many goals. I had many really, really high goals. I still have them. I'm constantly upgrading them. But I never had a perfect plan for that. I rather just go with the flow and see where the stream will take me. And in the month of March, you can expect to kind of feel more in tune with the stream. There is a stream that is happening. It's like the sense of intelligence that is speaking to you, moving through you. And many people are disconnected from it, feel disconnected from it. But also many people are becoming more in tune with it, which means that you start to sense intuitive ideas about what would be the right thing to do. But the challenge is then that you also need to initiate them. So you feel what you want to do, what you need to do. You feel like I felt I want to start painting. Then I felt I want to make better paintings. I want to make bigger paintings. Then I felt I want to combine messages with, messages with my art. And I needed to learn to edit my videos, to build skills, to learn how the YouTube works, and so on and so on. Constant learning, but it's constant. I've took action. Every time I've experienced this kind of idea, I took action. So I'm only sharing this with you because you may be recognizing right now that what is missing the most in your life is really initiating your intuitive ideas, your intuitive insights. Sometimes I call them spontaneous realizations. You need to initiate them. But again, you may notice there's too many of them. You may notice there's so much of different incredible ideas. You need to learn to organize them, prioritize them. So one thing that helped me so much was that I've started kind of structuring my ideas. Like in the morning, I'm working on this. In the midday, I'm working on this. In the afternoon, I'm working on this. I've started filtering my ideas, like here is what I will do here, and I will do then this, and I will do then this, whatever are the projects that we're working on. The point is that you organize your ideas, you initiate them, and you take them to the finish line. Many people start and they never finish it. What it means, you give a signal to the universe you're not ready for what you want to manifest. You're not worthy of it because you can't lead one idea to the finish line. And if you can't lead one idea to the finish line, it means that you're not ready to experience the results of it, which means that you need to start training yourself to go from start to finish. It's like a sense of discipline. It starts again with the mental discipline, like believing into yourself that actually you can lead this process to the finish line. Actually, you can lead this process to the finish line. You need to firstly believe into yourself. You need to see that there is a possibility, right? There is a possibility for you, even though in the past you were not consistent. Even though maybe consistency is not your nature yet, it can become. You can master any kind of a skill if you choose to master it. But you need to recognize that today's beginner is tomorrow's master. So it's what you start today that you will master tomorrow. And if you decide that consistency will become your second nature, then it needs to become a part of your identity. March is a great time to build that because you will notice there's a lot of refreshment, a lot of fresh new energy. And you will recognize that with all this fresh new stream, you can actually invest it into something you want to embody in your life, in something you want to see more of in your life. That's why I said remind yourself this is the month of love, of joy, of passion, of happiness, of abundance, of prosperity. You need to focus on these things. So then you start kind of thinking like, what would bring me closer to there? What I'm lacking that I'm not there yet in my habits, in my daily routines, like what is really pulling me back, or better said, anchoring me back in my past. What is anchoring me back in my past? Is it inconsistency, lack of belief? Is this lack of vision? Am I lacking vision? Am I lacking goals? Goals are important, my friends. That's what took me, for example, to where I am right now, and that's what will take you to where you want to be. And soon you will recognize that your mind actually follows your goals, and your subconscious mind gives you ideas how to reach these goals. But it's not a fast process. It's actually like a slow-paced process. And the process is what is sharpening your soul, right? It's the process. So a lot of the things related to prosperity, relationships, and also health can be improved in the month of March. You may also recognize that you're starting to feel better about yourself because you've done so many healthy things about yourself. You've changed so much in the last few years, most probably, and you can feel that, you can see that, you can notice that, and the progress starts happening. So, you know, when the winter is this more slow-paced time, then in the month of March, we already start to wake up a little bit more and to notice that, well, maybe it's time to grow. It's time to grow, maybe kind of prepare ourselves for blooming. And to prepare yourself for blooming means, what does it mean? It means that your core needs to become stronger. Isn't that true? When the flower blooms, it has a strong core, a stable core, so it can stand in the wind, right? Wind is like a storm by the nature. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's weaker, but that's what happens. That's what happens in your life. Sometimes you experience some wind and it moves you, it shakes you a little bit. You need to have a strong core. Sometimes you lose money, sometimes you lose relationships, sometimes this and that happens. You need to be strong in the core. So what is the month of March for? It's to bring some refreshment in your life, to strengthen yourself, to strengthen your core. So how can you strengthen your core? Well, there's many aspects to strengthen your core. One is to notice your qualities, to notice your strengths, to notice what you're already good at and work on it, improve it, keep up with it. It's something most people never define, never find out what they're truly good at. So it's hard for them to choose the right job, to choose the right career, to choose the right relationships. But if you know your good qualities, it will be easier to make choices in your life. Once you know your qualities, then make a plan. How will you sharpen them? How you will become even better at them? That's how you start strengthening your core. Then second thing is notice your weaknesses. Notice what makes you weak and then also work on it. But it's not your main priority. It will also start happening by itself as you build up your strengths. It will also help you to improve your weaknesses. But it doesn't mean you should ignore them. You should notice them to recognize you're not a bad person because of them. You're not a weak person because of them. You're not a weirdo because you have weaknesses. We all have them. I have them. We all have them. But it's important to identify them so you don't feel a victim because you have some of them. You will just recognize, well, it's what makes you alive, right? And the world needs more people who feel alive. So if you want to feel more alive, you need to recognize that wholeness is who you truly are. And wholeness is made out of strength and out of weakness. And it's a beautiful dance, right? That makes you whole. Once you embrace that and accept that, your core becomes stable. You recognize nothing can move you just like that because you know who you are. You know who you are, you know where you are, and you know what you need to do. When you have this level of clarity, you will know exactly what matters to you. So you will not be distracting yourself with meaningless things. You will be focusing on what matters to you, and where you focus on, that's what grows. So prepare yourself to experience a lot of growth in this month, my friend. I hope you found a lot of value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. To anyone who would love to support my art, you can find the link in the description of this video, AttractPassion.com, where you can find all of my art, some of my original paintings, prints of my art in different sizes. Go and check it out. If any of it resonates with you, it's a sign that it's for you. And to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one, go and check out the link in the description where you can schedule a calling with me and we'll meet. I'm excited to meet you, my friend, and looking forward to work with you. So till next time, one love.